Alright, what you see here is a Hunter Mariner ceiling fan. It's a 52-inch outdoor rated ceiling fan from Hunter in the new bronze finish. This one I got off of Facebook Marketplace. Without the light kit I got separate. I know that was a more recent acquisition. I tested this fan without the light a year ago, but you guys are just seeing the video now. I tested it the exact same time that I published the video of the white one with the light kit, but this one the video of this fan without the light, I had it private for about a year until I could locate a light kit for this one. That was a matching one, the Marine 2. I would have had to go public at the same time, but I figured it'd only be right if I did a video of this with and without the light kit. The issue was I already had a white one that I got for cheap from a collector, but the Marine 2 and the new bronze finish is a lot more uncommon to find, since you don't really see too many of these in this finish in the first place. So yeah, this fan specifically is from the 15th week of 2004, so it's about I think it's 2 weeks older than the white one. I think that one was from the 17th week of 2004. The light kit is a bit newer, which is why the shade portion of it hangs down a bit lower. The older version, it hangs out as well as here, not all the way down here. Just hangs a little bit lower. I could have changed it for the other one, like the other shade on it, but I figured I just use this one and such. But as you can see, the bronze on the light kit's a bit off compared to the one from the fan. But I mean, it's also plastic, so that is, I feel like it's one reason, but also the fan's 15-ish years older than the white kit, because the white is from the year 2021. Now, I got this off of Home Depot on clearance for $50, the white kit. So compared to paying $100 and something, compared to when it was being sold brand new at full retail, I figured I'd wait until I found one cheaper, and that's how I got this one. I gotta say, I really do like how this fan looks with the light. I really like how the white one looks, but if I was to install one outside, it would definitely be this version, because I wouldn't worry about this one getting gross looking over time compared to an all-white fan. The only thing I'd probably do is maybe spray paint the screws black just to kind of seal them off, because the screws are really the only things that tend to rust on a fan when it's installed outside, if it's a true outdoor rated fan. But the bronze fans tend to hold up pretty well outside, I notice. Now, these pull chains obviously are not original. I found some spare white ones at the ReStore that We Fire Aviate volunteers at, and I spray painted these a dark walnut finish. This is what I use. The same color I used to spray paint the silver line that I brought to my dad's place. But these, I did a clear coat on them, and so they wouldn't have that gloss look, so it would match the finish on this a little bit better. And they honestly look pretty good. From a distance, you can't really tell that they're painted, but if you look closer, you can kind of tell. But yeah, I definitely could redo them at some point if I was to install this permanently. But I didn't bother using a primer on this just because I figured it's just for a test video. But if it was a permanent install, I would definitely prime them and such. But it came out good. From a distance, you can't really tell. It's more so when you're up close that you can see some of the imperfections. But yeah. There's the reverse pull chain. Here's the white one. And here's more for the fan. Let me go ahead and turn on the light. It's using two LED 60-watt bulbs in there. And I gotta say, it definitely does go off good light. The white version of the fan is definitely more childhood for me, because I saw those more as a kid. But if I was to install one in general, I'd definitely do this one, because you don't really see these in this finish too often. Let me go ahead and shut off the white. If it was like in an outside area, I would definitely install this one. But if it was like in a sunroom, I'd probably do the white one instead. But yeah, no, the fan definitely gives off good lighting. And I'm pulling the chains by way up here, not by the actual profiles, because I don't want to put too much strain on them. Because when I originally hung this up, I pulled a chain like this sideways, and I yanked out the original pull chain for this fan. So I'm doing it like this so I don't put so much strain on it and such. But yeah. Oh yeah, here's low. I stole this pull chain from another Hunter fan, so it is the right type. It's another outdoor Hunter fan I actually got recently new in the box. And that's honestly the only other fan I could see putting up in place of this one, but I honestly like the look of this one more. Yeah, that other fan is also in new bronze, and it was a Willis exclusive. So I'll be reviewing that one soon as well. But yeah, this is a fan I can see like in amusement parks, near like a lake house, like if someone's fishing, log cabins, rustic places, seafood restaurants and stuff. It's a lot of places I can see these at. It's funny, with this one, when I see this one installed, I think I get more of like a lake vibe from it, but then with the white one, I kind of get more of an ocean vibe from it. So I guess in some ways I kind of get more of like a freshwater vibe from this one, and the other one it's more of like a saltwater vibe. Yeah, it's quiet. The white kit is completely plastic. That's for those who don't know. And I honestly don't mind it. I mean, for it to be installed outdoors, I feel like it would hold up best with it being all plastic. Another thing is just to make sure to clean it often. A lot of times outdoor fans, they get yucky looking, more so because their owners don't really clean them and such. Or they're not a true outdoor rated fan, like a quality one. But white outdoor fans, in all honesty, don't really hold up too well unless it's like, I mean, Hunters tend to hold up well, but like the home center outdoor fans in white usually don't hold up too well. But also, outdoor rated fans are still somewhat more of a recent thing. Like back in the 90s, that was kind of like the beginning for that. And going into the 2000s, there were some more companies that were experimenting with it. So like with Hunter Bay's case, they had like the Gazebo Plus, Caleras for however reason, stuff like those are kind of like some of the more budget models that that were starting to be introduced in general for outdoor rated fans. So honestly, they're not going to be the best in terms of the outdoor rated compared to nowadays, but also they were more budget models, so it's the other thing. But also, if you live in an area where there's a lot of salt on the streets, that's another factor that will play into it. But yeah, this fan is like one that I wouldn't worry about with the salt because it's brown. So if it was to even rust a tiny bit, you wouldn't really notice it. That's why I personally would never install a white fan outside. If it was like a sunroom, that's a different story. But actually outside, definitely not. Because the blades are also going to turn the other. Now, if the blades weren't all white, if it was like a wood grain like this, or like a Casablanca Cascade, not the Cascade, the Lanai that I have, that's another one I'd consider installing outside. But if it was like a white one, I'd rather have it with the wood grain blades, not all white, because I wouldn't want the white blades to turn yellowed over time. All right, now to show off the white. Yeah, I remember they only showed the white Hunter Mariner at Home Depot in the stores. The bronze one that you see here was a online exclusive or a special order. There's probably some places that you probably could see them in person, like maybe like at Nate's Hardware if they carried them there, I'm not sure. But that's why you don't really see these too often compared to the white ones. I mean, it's kind of the case of any fan. Usually if it's a fan that's sold in stores versus online, you'll see them more often. Which I kind of like, because at least it shows that there's still people who rather buy ceiling fans in person versus buying them online. The only problem now is that people just rather go to Home Depot or Lowe's to buy a fan, not go to actual lighting showrooms. But they are more pricey there, so that is the other thing. A lot of people just rather have a fan that does the job, not so much something that it's going to last them 10, 15, 20 years. As a lot of people rather just remodel and put up something else after a certain amount of time. Which I can understand. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and move it up to medium. Now the blades, they might look like they're a bit out of clock. That is not the case. That's just that one of the blade arms loosened up a tiny bit as I was installing it. But with the switch housing, I was not trying to remove the switch housing just to tighten up that one blade. As getting the switch housing on there is kind of a pain with the light kit on it. Yeah, now I do have pull chains for the newer styled pull chains that Hunter has that aren't sideways like that. They're more like straight down with the Hunter logo on it in the new bronze finish. However, since this fan's from the 2000s era with the older Hunter logo, I figured it would look more appropriate with these type of pull chains. Plus, I do like these pull chains more, and to be honest. But yeah, it's definitely a nice quiet fan. I mean, that's a good medium speed to it. It's not like it's overbearing or anything. But yeah, let me go ahead and turn the light on. Yeah, honestly, if whenever me and my mom move out of this apartment in about like, in the next 2 years or so, we get our own house, I'll definitely try to maybe whenever we get our own house and such, I'll try to see if we can find one with a back porch, and if not, maybe try to build a back porch. Like if it does have a back porch or not, like just build like a small section with a ceiling just to install this. It's definitely a fan I'd love to install. Now I could install the Casablanca Lanai, but I'd rather install something that's not so difficult to like find replacement parts for. I feel like this would be an easier one to find replacement parts compared to the Casablanca one and such. But yeah, I mean it's not a flimsy fan. It's definitely pretty solid for a fan to put outside. I mean, I see these installed outdoors in various locations, like amusement parks, houses. Like quite a few places nearby me have some of these outside, and they definitely seem to hold up pretty well and such. So it's definitely one that I can rely on and not worry about it getting damaged. All right, let's go ahead and move it up to the high speed. That's a little bit of a hum on this speed, but it's not a big deal. It's pushing a pretty good amount of air. I mean, it's a typical Hunter air movement, but for a fan to be installed outside, this is definitely would be a good one to have installed outdoors. I mean, what I could also do, like whenever I get my own place, if it's not an actual back porch, kind of like build like a little area that has like it's kind of like those prop areas that like those metal things that you can rent and have like the tarp ceiling. Probably have something like that built in the backyard and install this in it. I know there's people that have done that. I mean, the fan they still sell. So like, if something did happen to it and I need to get replacement parts, it's not like I couldn't like get one from Hunter. Cause they still do sell this fan, though the parts might be a little bit different finish-wise because they kind of redesigned it. But blades and blade arms are really the only thing I'd be worried about getting damaged outside, if that was to happen. Yeah, I really do. I really like how this fan looks with this light. I mean, I liked it a lot on the white one, but on this one, I really like it. But it's also I really see these bronze ones with the lights, so that's the other reason. Yeah, it's definitely a fan I really plan to install when I get my own place. Right now, I'm gonna go ahead and shut it off any spin down, and then I'll show it on reverse. But obviously, I'm gonna let it spin down first, and then I'll reverse it. No, honestly, if I was to install this outside, I'd probably have it hooked up to a wall control where I wouldn't have to rewind the pull chain so much. The last thing I'd want is for the pull chain to get yanked out again. And the way the light kit is, it kind of makes it put some strain on the fan pole. The light one, not so much, but it's the fan pole that kind of gets some strain, having to get pulled against the light kit and such. All right, it's come to a complete stop. Let me reverse it. And now for the low reverse. And there's the light. No, honestly, if I was to ever have this installed in an outdoor location, I would not ever maybe use it on reverse, as I feel like it would be pointless. But yeah. All right, now for medium reverse. Oh yeah, like this is just a fan I can maybe like see like in a backyard, on a back porch, something like that, on a deck, and there's like a cookout being and something like that. I know like there's some homes that they have like those not like an actual ceiling, but it's like those wooden beam like ceilings that air, like if it was to rain, water would fall through it. So it's kind of like the ceiling here. Like it's kind of like those ceilings that they have like some of those outdoor wet rated fans that from Hunter nowadays that they show in the commercials the advertisements that I could probably would have like something like that built in the backyard on the deck, and maybe have like a portion of it like actually covered on top. But I mean, I know this one can get rained on it; it would be fine, like in a covered area. But I mean, the motor had it also had, the canopy above it also came with that rubber ring they could put around it, which I do have. I just for testing purposes, I figured I'd go without it. I feel like I'd rather have it with like a actual filled in ceiling, not like on a beam out there with like air spaces in between it. Although it would look cool, I know it wouldn't be good for it over time. I mean, even if it was on a front porch, I'd put this up there too. I really doubt that I'd find a place that has a front porch without it being too expensive. But one way or another, I'll find a way to have this installed outside whenever I move out of here in the next 2 years with my mom. It's definitely one of the fans that's planned to be used there whenever we move out. Alright, that'll be it for this video. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, and stay tuned for more videos to come.